Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you how to make coral beads, and for this you'll be needing burnt orange fondant. We get that by mixing orange fondant and red fondant. So we'll mix the two together to get our burnt orange. So I'm just going to go right ahead to mix both colors. If you have coral or burnt orange food color in your location, then you do not need to go through this process. But if you don't, then this is a super fast and easy way to achieve your burnt orange shade of fondant. So I'm just going to go right ahead to mix them and blend them properly. I am going to do this for a little while because I want to mix them well. I don't want streaks of red showing through my orange fondant. So I'm just going to go right ahead to mix, and I would show you the difference in a bit. So that's my burnt orange, which I just made. The other one I made first and the one I just made now, you can see that there's a little difference in the shades, and that's because of the red that I added. You need your craft knife for this. You also need a Dresden tool, which I'll be showing you how to use. And then you need your needle and thread. You also need your smoother and shortening. So that's your shortening right there. You need your shortening. So I'm just going to grease my work surface and then knead so that my fondant is pliable for me to work with. Ensure that you grease your work surface so that you can easily stretch your fondant. Next up, I'm going to roll into a sausage, starting out with my hands and then continuing with the smoother. Why I'm doing that is to have a smooth look and also to have an even amount of thickness from the beginning to the end of my sausage. And then I will cut off both ends so that I can have them flat. I've also split my sausage in two so that it's not too long for me to work with and I can have control over it. So I'm also going to cut off the end, and then I would cut into desired lengths. I'm going to cut them up into desired lengths. But if you cannot do this freestyle, then feel free to make marks using a tape roll that will give you the same amount of, or the same length of beads. Next up, I would roll and shape each bead between my fingers, flattening the top and the bottom and keeping them upright to dry. I'm going to keep them upright to dry. I don't want to put them lying on my work surface because then one end is going to be flat and I don't want that. So I'll move this aside and then take the next batch of fondant that I have to make another type and another set of beads. So I'll repeat the same process of rolling into a sausage. I'm going to roll, 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 and then cut them up into the length that I want. But do not forget to still smoothen out using your smoother, and also aim for the same level of thickness. Once I'm done with that, I'll cut off both ends and then begin to cut up my beads. I'll cut them into the desired length that I want. You can always make adjustments if one happens to be longer than the other or is not what you want. So once I'm done with that, I would repeat again the process of shaping each bead into the desired shape that I want. I'm just going to flatten the top and the bottom, and then get rid of that flat end. You know, when you cut with your knife, you're going to have one end flat, so you want to stretch it out. You want to stretch it out a bit and then mold it so that it's uniform and flat, top and bottom, and the sides are round. You don't want it to look bent, so try to keep it as straight as possible. And then when you're done with that, you just place it on your table. Now for this, I'm making holes using the pointed end of my Dresden tool. So go ahead to make holes around the body of the beads. Now for this, I'm not doing everything with this same design. I'm going to leave some plain so that I can alternate when I'm sewing them. You can apply shortening to your Dresden tool so that it's easy for you to make the holes, and it can be neat when you put the holes in them. So once I'm done, I have 3 sets already, another batch made, which I'm going to use for bracelets, which is just a shorter bead. So I'm sewing already. I'm going to put them together. Ensure you leave some space at the end of your thread so that you can knot it or tie it when you're done. Now if you notice, I'm not pushing the fondant through the rope, rather I am pulling out the rope or the thread through the fondant. Now this is because it's still fresh, it's still soft, and I don't want to damage or misshapen the fondant. I don't want to make it go out of shape, so I'm just being careful with it, and that is why I am pulling the thread through the beads instead of pushing the fondant all the way in. You can also leave it to dry like a day before you do the sewing, but I like to do mine right ahead. I just do it and then keep it to dry for some days. Also note that you need to make this ahead of time. Once you're done with the sewing, then you can tie it together and then cut off the excess. So that's it right there. The first one is ready. I'm just going to do the next. Repeating the same process and being careful like I was when I did the first batch. So pull the thread through. But if this is dry, like if you're making it or sewing a day after making your beads, then you don't need to really do this. You can just put your thread in and push your fondant through the thread. So I'm just going to go right ahead and make my beads, and we'll be done in a bit. We're almost there. I believe you can see that this is easy, super easy and not stressful at all. So I forgot to leave some space. That's why I'm making those adjustments to my beads so that I can have some space to knot it. If you don't leave a space, it will be difficult for you to knot both ends when you are done. So Gonna tie them together, and we're done. Wow, they look so beautiful. And you see how easy it was to get them done? Really simple and easy to make. So please feel free to tag me when you make them on Instagram at IBakeCakeSignatures. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video.